There's a lot of fighting left to do in these last two races.
From Homestead Miami Speedway, it's going to be a spectacular setting for sure.
One of the drivers' favorite racetracks.
Miami is top 3 favorite on my list.
The biggest thing with Homestead, if you can have that really good long run speed, it's going to be huge.
The win by a playoff team today is an automatic berth into the championship.
We can control our own destiny in a lot of ways, and not making mistakes to win this race.
Don't be too scared to make these moves and make different things happen, because that one point or one spot can be the difference maker on making it to that Final Four.
Race 2 in this round of 8.
I'm definitely circling Miami as my way to get to the Final Four.
The countdown for the championship has begun. Hey, there's an interloper amongst those title contenders. Yeah, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to be trying to make a start tomorrow afternoon. But John Hunter Nemechek, Allgaier, Austin Hill, Cole Custer, they're all above the cut line as we get ready for practice qualify from Homestead Miami Speedway alongside Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett, Mayor Jeff Burton, Rick Allen with you, Kim Kuhn covering all the stories from pit road and the garage today. And Jeff, let's talk points. You want to be above that cut line after next week's race, but last week it was a first-time winner, so that took the opportunity of somebody locking themselves in from this list right here of playoff drivers.
Well, only 2 races remaining in this round, and you can see already John Hunter Nemechek with a big lead. Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, both in trouble. Sammy Smith, in my opinion, both those guys that must win. Sammy Smith has never raced in any form of racing at this racetrack, and this is a challenge. This is a very difficult racetrack, so a little bit of odds against him right now.
And a challenging racetrack, but it's one that Dale Earnhardt Jr. chose, DJ. But how does he affect this race?
Well, it affected me. I thought I was going to stay at home in Arizona this weekend, and he decided he's going to race. So here I am working. No, I'm glad to be here. And he could affect this because there's nobody that is as capable of running the wall as Dale Jr. And I realize he's not racing much. It'll take him a little time to get worked up to that. But once he gets that rhythm that he has always had running the high line, he can definitely affect this race. You know, whether it's can he go win? Yeah, he can. That will be a tall order. But all he has to do is get in the middle and take up one spot away from somebody that might be needing 1 point after Martinsville next week.
And we saw him lead a lot of laps at Bristol earlier this year when he was a part of the Xfinity race. So, yes, he definitely has the abilities to get that car up front and contend for a win. Let's talk a little bit about the conditions, Kim.
Yeah, that's right. It's a nice day here in South Florida, but it's going to be a lot hotter during tomorrow's race. The sun is setting right now, and that's going to amplify whatever they feel in the car today will be amplified tomorrow with the heat and then the rubber laid down both in Cup practice and qualifying and the truck race tomorrow. The other thing to keep in mind, we talk about running the high line, running the boards up against the fence. You'll hear that all weekend long. There seem to be 2 schools of thought from the drivers I talked to today. The first was to play a little conservative. Yes, drivers want to see what their cars do up against the wall, but they don't want to spend too much time in practice up there and run the risk of getting into the wall and ruining their qualifying chances. The other flip side of that was there were a lot of guys that wanted to spend as much time as possible during this practice session up there because they don't want to be surprised during tomorrow's race. We'll see how it all plays out as we're about to go green on practice for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Kim, I think you described the whole weekend of Homestead. You want to be against the wall, but you're terrified to be against the wall. It's a lot of challenges here. And there's real speed. Getting the car 2 inches from the wall versus being a foot off the wall, it matters. It's more grip right up against it. On top of that, this racetrack and this race tomorrow, the sun's going to be setting. The sun's going to be in the driver's eyes when they come off turn 4, when they come down pit road. You want to be right against the wall, sun in your eyes. Restarts are going to be difficult. This is just, it's a great racetrack. Drivers love it, but it also creates a ton of challenges.
Yeah, I don't know how you felt about this place, but you know, anywhere that you go that you run right up against the wall, that's going to be eventually the fastest way around making the most time. But you're going to have to run on the bottom some, and you're going to find yourself in the middle of the racetrack at certain times. So going out here right now, there's not a lot of things. I never believed there was a lot that you could do to my car that was going to help me around the top of the racetrack. It was about me getting accustomed to doing what I needed to do there, because you're basically driving the car with the throttle more there. You're not attacking the corner as hard, but you've got to drive it around there, and that's just a driver getting comfortable with it. You need to make it handle in the other spots, and then you just have to do what you have to do as a driver up there.
And cars beginning to roll. Up front, we're going to see the 20 of John Hunter Nemechek. He's the odds-on favorite for the win of this race as he rolls out first. Right now leading in the point standings, 47 points above the cut line.
Yeah, I just believe this is his to lose. Sorry, Jeff. I just think that he's proven to be with the best team, best equipment, best driver, doing things right week in and week out. This is his. He's in full control of winning this championship.
Look at the sun. That's what we talked about right there on the exit of turn 4. You cannot see the wall at all, and that's going to be a challenge. We also discussed Sammy Smith. Never been to this racetrack, so what does he do? He pulls right in behind the championship contender, the favorite rather, and wants to see what John Hunter Nemechek is doing. Now look, he's been in the simulator, he's been comparing himself to JHN all week in preparation, but now you come to the racetrack, and when you wreck in the simulator, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't damage anything, it doesn't mess up your weekend, but on a race weekend, when you're trying to push and find everything, that's when you make a mistake. But I love the fact that he goes out and says, hey, I'm going to try to keep up with John Hunter Nemechek, learn as much as I can on the very first few laps.
Yeah, and even if and he's going to lose some time to him, but he got close enough there to start with just to see that. You know, what's his pace like? Where is he carrying more speed? Is he able to get back to the throttle sooner? All of those things that you want to know as a driver up against your competition and the best car here.
Fastest car right now, and again, only 12 have been out there and 1 lap complete, but it was John Hunter Nemechek. Cole Custer the fastest now, but even that for Nemechek might not mean a lot, because remember, the last 2 weeks practice and qualifying, they've had problems. They have had issues. Last week wasn't able to qualify, so it goes back to, is everybody on the same page and ready to come out here and challenge for this championship? Because, like I said, last week, they were in the garage when qualifying was taking place.
Yeah, and that's not how you want to start the weekend off. But look, I got to turn right around and say John Hunter Nemechek has handled it perfectly. He's done his job. They got behind, and he's not tried to make it up all in 1 lap or in a few laps. He's just gone out and done his job, and that has been a different John Hunter Nemechek this year. In the past, the last 2 years in the Truck Series, he really made mistakes in the playoffs, kind of kept them, the fastest truck, kind of kept them from winning those championships, just him pushing too hard. But you got to go through those experiences. You got to make those mistakes and learn from them. And now John Hunter is one of the more mature drivers on the track, and he's making great decisions, Kim.
And Jeff, he told me exactly that point last week about what he learned on the Truck Series playoff side of things. He said, yes, this round could be considered one of the most mentally tough, but in trucks he overthought things, and that's when he started making mistakes. So this time around, he's trying not to overthink, despite the mentally demanding challenges of this playoff run. And right now, he just said he fired off tight on the splitter. John Hunter Nemechek currently second on the board in speed.
So second on the board, and what would you expect a Hall of Famer to do? He jumps out and he's top 10 on his first lap. So even when you don't run these cars week in and week out, this guy has a feel for it.
Yeah, and you can see he's already up challenging the wall right here.
That's the only reason he came here. Even if
run
it's
against
not
the wall.
fast
Oh, yeah.
line, he's going to run up there.
Yeah.
He loves, and we both raced against him. He's one of the very best.
Yeah.
Of just ripping the fence, loves to do it, finds it to be enjoyable. Just really, really good at it. And you know, the job he did at Bristol,
yeah.
I mean, look, nothing against him, but I just didn't expect that a guy that's only driving a few races a year could go out and compete against the very best in the Xfinity Series and lead laps and be in position to win the race. And he just did a great job. Unfortunately, he had a fire, didn't get the result that he wanted, but just a great job by Junior at Bristol, and I think that gave him a ton of confidence coming here.
Fastest car on the track, Cole Custer. His first lap, just under 33 seconds. He's the only one that has turned a lap sub 33 seconds of this field. Cole Custer, all right, what are his playoff championship hopes?
High.
I mean, does the championship have to go through John Hunter?
Oh, yeah, John Hunter's a favorite, but Cole Custer, he's a guy that can take the fight to him. In my eyes, Cole and this team have gotten better throughout the year. Right now, you see he's P1. He's got the fastest car on the racetrack, 7 laps in. And by the way, 7 laps in, he's 2 seconds slower than he was on his fastest lap. Yeah. That's why drivers love this racetrack, because there's that much speed loss. That's more than Darlington. That 2 seconds and 7 laps, that's more tire fall off than Darlington. And that's why drivers love it. They love sliding around and slipping and being able to control the car with the throttle.
Yeah, a pretty special place for him. You know, back in 2017, came here as a very, very young man and was able to get that first win. And so, you know, anytime that you are able to accomplish that, that's just going to stay with you. And it doesn't surprise me to see him at the top of the board. They've been fast. I also believe this, especially after seeing Riley Herbst last weekend. Doug Yates has stepped up the program over here on this side with the Ford engines also. He loves to do that whenever playoff time comes around and really big races and things. So, Kim, I don't know. I think horsepower is always a great thing to have, but you got to have a good handling car too.
Absolutely, and this track has been great for Cole, but overall their mile-and-a-half program earlier in there wasn't what they felt like up to par. But last weekend, Cole said they felt like they ran their best mile-and-a-half, and then you look at what his teammate Riley Herbst was able to do. They said they're building off last week into this weekend, and he admitted, he said nobody talked about them at mile-and-a-halfs, but they think they got everybody's attention last week, and they are going to be a threat this weekend for the win. Cole said he just fired off a little bit on the splitter, so that ride height maybe needing a little bit of work.
Air pressure's a little bit low, maybe.
Yeah, and look, you're gonna, if you don't fire off on the splitter, the car's too high, right? Too low, rather. Because you've got to have the car on the splitter on low air pressure at these speeds. The car, it's not going to be as fast tomorrow. You're going to have dirty air. You've got to have the car on the ground. So if it's not on the splitter right now on the first lap of practice, the car is too hot.
Yeah, your car's going to go away. The tires are going to go away. So you've got to be able to utilize that. And then, because as you were pointing out, if you have it to where you could get your maximum grip and make that lap by the car not bottoming out early on in a race run, then you're going to be way too high, and then you're going to be complaining your tires aren't there and the front end's way too high.
Probably no complaints out of Austin Hill for the season. His crew's been amazing, pit crew, over the wall crew, but this is a racetrack where he's got a best finish of 9th. So when you come here and you're Austin Hill, does this racetrack worry you in the middle of this round of 8? That you've got to outperform what you've been able to do before?
It would me, but if I was Austin Hill, I would be reminding myself I won a truck race here, right? That would be my confidence. I'd be like, look, I can win at this racetrack. I did it in the trucks. I've had success here in the past, and I can do it again. Now, between you and me, we won't tell him. I think running a truck here is completely different than running an Xfinity car. They make so much more grip. They do not have the tire fall off that these cars have. I think you drive the cars completely differently, but if I'm Austin Hill, that's what I'm reminding myself.
Yeah, and he's a better driver now than he has been these previous times here. So it's not a big page there that you have to go off of. I think what would worry me is just the fact of what you have to do here to be competitive and to run better than Knight. If you're going to try to run in the top 5 in this, you're going to have to put yourself up against the wall, and all it takes is one slip, and then you've ruined the whole day.
Probably a lot of confidence in the 98 car after the win at Las Vegas a week ago. But what about the 2 of Sheldon Creed? He's watching Riley Herbst right now. Creed still without a win in the Xfinity Series, and the announcement that he won't be back to RCR next season. Still don't know what his future will hold, but he's still a part of this championship hunt, as he is part of the round of 8, still one of the playoff contenders.
He is, but you know, they're going to have a major step in their performance. They do not have the pace of the guys that are their favorites, and so coming here, they're going to have to take a major step, and you can see what he's doing. Like, a lot of drivers aren't right against the boards. They're giving themselves a little bit of clearance, a little bit of room, but Creed searching for some speed. He's already got himself up there pretty close. Now, he'll be a little closer tomorrow, believe it or not, but already he's right up against it.
Kim.
And he finished 15th last weekend at Las Vegas, and there was some head scratching going on, and crew chief Jeff Stankiewicz told me any other week coming off a week like that, they might be concerned, but because of Sheldon's confidence here, they have no concern this weekend what he can accomplish at Homestead Miami Speedway. And when I walked on the hauler earlier today, Sheldon walked on alongside me, and he had just gotten off the phone with Noah Gragson. Gragson was the winner in the NASCAR Xfinity Series here last year, swept both stages, such a strong driver when it comes to this racetrack. And Sheldon told me he sat on the phone for a very long time picking Noah's brain about what kind of things he should be focused on, the questions he should be asking his team, and how to really set himself up for success this weekend here at Homestead.
I wonder if Noah threw in that you got to drive that thing like you just really don't give a damn, and what's the consequences might be.
Yeah, right side of the car might not mean a lot.
May not.
That,
that could help out here, you know, if you just don't care. I mean, sometimes you overthink this and make it more difficult. Something that's already difficult, you make it even more so.
So I know Dale Jr. is in the race, but I'm going to go back, and this is the Dale Jr. car also. Dave Ellens, the crew chief, was Noah Grex's crew chief. Also, Tyler Reddick's crew chief. And I watched both of those drivers come here with Dave Ellens as the crew chief, and he let them for a day just rip the boards, run into the wall, make mistakes, figure it out. And that day made them really good at this racetrack. And most crew chiefs won't do that. Most crew chiefs go come here and they want to work with springs and shocks and sway bars. And he said, nope, I'm going to work on my drivers. And that experience has helped them all the way through their careers. Those were big days in the careers of those two young drivers.
Justin Allgaier, another one who you look at and say this might be his season. He's put together some great races in 2023. We saw Pullman, his crew chief, there watching on as Allgaier continuing to click laps off. He's 14th fastest as far as one lap. He's already turned 18. And you hear him there hanging on at the moment.
Yeah. I was say, I hope he wasn't watching him as he almost hit the wall up in 3 and 4 there a minute ago. But that was the first lap that I really saw. Just you can see that car stepping out even down there. But that's actually kind of in no man's land there when you're up in that 3/4 of the way up there. There's no grip, and you're trying to carry more speed there. Yeah, this is a tough place, but you got to get right up there and for a little bit anyway, and you know, try to get your rhythm to see what you can do and what do you need to do as a driver to change that. This has been a horrible racetrack for Justin. He's going to have to overcome that. This has just not been a good racetrack. His average finish is about 17th and a half. That's the worst of all the active tracks that he's run on. Yeah. So with this much on the line, he's going to have to dig deep and find a way this weekend. No top fives here, so that's, I mean, with an average finish like that, you wouldn't expect it. But. I had a lot of those. I understand.
Sam Mayer.
Not top fives, a lot of average finishes of 20.
A year ago, second in this race. And really has found a lot this season. The wins that he's been able to attain as he pulls onto pit road, and he'll go to the attention of his crew. Chandler Smith behind the wheel of the 16. Again, no relation to Sammy.
Chandler finished 7th here last year, actually driving for Sam Hunt. As his only Xfinity start here. Ran a truck race here. So he does come into this race with a little bit of Xfinity experience, and I think that's really valuable, DJ, to not come here having to learn the racetrack, to actually come here and build on the success, the failures, whatever it happened to be of the years before.
Yeah, and he's a driver that I think has the capabilities of getting up there like a Tyler Reddick and making that work in the race. I really believe that he might surprise us tomorrow afternoon.
How about yesterday morning? Chandler Smith and his wife Kenzie, they welcomed their second child into their family. Noble Smith was born. So, and a little slide there out of the back of the 16. And congratulations to Chandler and Kenzie. Parker Kligerman, currently third fastest for a lap. I was lucky enough this week to be in Nashville and hung out a little bit with the owner of this team. And let me tell you, Scott Borchetta is a energetic guy. And after what he had gone through with his wreck at Road Atlanta, his brother, Mark Borchetta, was sitting at the table with me as we talked about Parker and how much they've been able to accomplish this year. They were so excited that they made the playoffs. I mean, a big step there. But Parker, I think, is really impressed, and they have high expectations for next year. They think, you know, now that they've seen what can be accomplished, they're going to change their goals and set them a little bit higher for the 2024 season.
Yeah, I expect the team to be better, and I actually expect the driver to be better too, because Parker hadn't been doing this full time in a long time either. So he was very impressive at what he did, but I think I saw the team grow tremendously. I mean, they just got better and better and better, faster cars and more competitive week in and week out. So I think their chances of racing for a championship next year are very high.
Kim.
Right now the team telling him his entry is good, but he's slow in the center of the corner in 3 and 4. And Parker told me earlier this week that this is a track where it's a game of inches, and it's so easy to go overboard here and find yourself actually in the wall. So maybe is that what we're seeing, guys, is he's not quite using all the racetrack because he's a little bit nervous on what the rear of that car is going to do in 3 and 4?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're seeing. Yeah, that's a good point there. And you can see he's entering a little bit low, which makes him go up in the center, and then he's turning it down across. Just not ready to challenge that yet. And, hey, I appreciate that. You know, he's got 300 miles tomorrow to get it all done. And but he's close enough that he's getting a feel for it. But you do have to just, if you're going to ride the wall and make speed out of it, you can ride the wall if you're not going to go fast. But if you're really going to make that speed, you have to enter right against the wall and pick the throttle up and drive it right against there with no fear.
Brandon Jones tucked in behind Austin Hill here. Again, only 2 junior motorsports cars still a part of the playoffs, with Sam Mayer and the 7 of Justin Allgaier. We see Junior out of the car now.
So Dale Jr. looking at the front windshield, showing them where he wants them to put more tape on the windshield so that that sun setting in turn 1 or coming off turn 4 does not bother him. That is a major issue here. Inside the car moments ago, he's talking with his hands. Drivers talking with their hands.
Drivers never do that.
Right? He's saying, all right, Sunday in the pre-race, we're going to talk about
how I whipped everybody on Saturday. So
it's so fun to talk to Junior and feel his energy about being in these races. You know, he has a ton of respect for the Xfinity Series. He clearly has been a massive contributor to the sport, and not only what he's done as a driver, but owning junior motorsports, giving young drivers a chance, and to come back here and race with them. He's very humble about it. You know, it's not like he wants to earn it. He doesn't feel like he's very nervous about making the race.
Very nervous.
Right? And it's just it's fun to see the excitement and the energy, and even the nervousness.
Yeah, unfortunately, he'd be the first one out to qualify, so I never thought that was a fun thing to do, but hopefully it will not affect him. He's got a fast car, and he knows how to get the job done, but, you know, there's always that, you know, that you have inside of you when you know that you have to go do something, you know, that it just adds a little more pressure.
Well, after last week, he should call Riley Herbst and ask him how to do it.
Yeah.
Because Riley Herbst
dominated.
I mean, that was, he just destroyed him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even close. Once we got about halfway through the race, he passed his teammate for the lead and never even got close from there on. He just drove off from him 3 or 4 tenths a lap. And even like the last lap of the race, I'm thinking, he'll be backing off. He still ran the fastest lap on the racetrack. It's great to see this young man. People have doubted him. People have said he can't do it. He's not good enough. He'll never be successful. He heard all that. He kept working, kept his head down, ignored it, His family supported him. His race team supported him. People just kept saying, man, you can do it. Just keep working, keep working. And to go win your first race in your hometown and win in dominating fashion, what a amazing way to get the first one done. And there's more coming. There is more races coming for him.
Yeah, really surprised that this was the first one this year.
Yeah.
I mean, expected him to, be in the playoffs by winning a race, getting in that way instead of the way that he did. But, that's, sometimes it just takes a while to get. That first one's always the hardest one to come by, figuring out. Now he understands what he's looking for in the car, and that'll take him a lot of good places from here on.
How often are you going to have that good of a race car that you're going to end up winning by almost 15 seconds?
Well, from now on, they can't say, well, you've never won, so you can't really tell us it's the race car.
Right.
Now he's shown what he can do, so give me that car and I'll show you what I can do week in and week out. Yeah, you don't get those very often, though, Rick. You're exactly right. You enjoy them when you do.
27 laps for Cole Custer, and he had the fastest lap in practice at 32.96 seconds. So pretty impressive for Cole Custer, dominating the fastest lap, 5 fastest laps, and the 10 fastest lap average. Fans, make sure you download the official app of NASCAR. You can follow the action with free live scoring. There's in-car cameras as well as a radio broadcast. Search NASCAR in your app store, and you can start a free trial today. There's one of the best at this racetrack, Tyler Reddick, out there on the Aqua Cycle in the lake here on the backstretch.
Found his secret.
That's what it is. He gets relaxed by using the Aqua Cycle before the race. All right, here's the top 10 in practice, and those in yellow are part of the playoffs, the round of 8 drivers.
Brett Moffitt with a good lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Burton, those guys are not in the playoffs. Josh Berry, surprising year for him. I know he's hoping to get a win before the year ends. No one would have expected he would go winless this year.
So it's 4 playoff drivers and 6 non-playoff drivers. Down there in the 9th position, Dale Earnhardt Jr. standing by with Kim.
Yeah, top 10 on the boards. I know before practice you said you wanted to know what your car did on the Highline. Do you feel like you got all the knowledge you needed out of that quick 20 minutes?
Yeah, I'm pretty loose. We'll have to work on the balance a little bit, but pretty surprised to be in the top 10. Really felt like I didn't know where I was at when I got out there, how deep to get in the corner and all that, but shows you we got a fast car. But when I really got after it there late in the run to get up at the top, I just go to the throttle, and any more throttle and any more trying to be aggressive with the steering wheel slips the rears. So trying to laterally load that right rear was really hard for me, and it never really came around. We had when we ran this race last year, our cars were really, really loose for 15, 20 laps, and then they would come alive. I think we're going to have to be a little bit tighter to start the race than we are right now, but some of our teammates are on the snug side, so I think we can get the track bar down and a few other things and get it better.
What about for the qualifying lap? Do you feel like there are options to make speed, or are there certain parts of the tracks where you have to find speed on the Highline?
Well, I'm going to run. I know I've talked to a lot of people this week, a lot of drivers, and some run the bottom last year, some run the third groove. I'm going to drive it into one, I hope 2 deep, and then figure out the rest of the corner from there on out, and then try to get the exit off of 3, and I'm going to try to run that third groove up there. It might not be exactly where I need to run. Some cars will probably beat us on the bottom, but no more time than I got around here or in these cars this year. I think if you get down in that bottom and you miss it, your lap's over with. You chase the car all the way through throttle and never can really complete the throttle. So I'm going to try to go to that top. Some cars had good success there in qualifying last time, so that's what we tested or ran on the sim. Hopefully everything backs up. I don't think we'll run as well in qualifying as we did in practice. Probably get beat by some guys that know how to get the car down in the corner good, and hopefully we'll do good enough to get in there.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Dale will be the first one to take his qualifying lap. He talked about how bad the sun setting is right now. His team actually working on taping off his front windshield to make sure it's not a huge distraction he can see for his qualifying lap.
And Kim, he also talked about running right up against the wall. So let's take a look at the art of running the Highline here at Miami.
The walls at Homestead Miami Speedway are like a hurricane.
closer you get to the wall, the more dangerous it becomes.
Sideways. Yeah.
Founded by Ralph Sanchez back in 1993 as an effort to rebuild Homestead after Hurricane Andrew, this track has been just that, a rapidly rotating storm system. But for those who have an eye for success here at Homestead, Miami, they need to practice the art of the high line.
Blaney bounces off the safer barrier.
Or more commonly known as ripping the fence.
He's running the wall, he's hauling ass. I cannot figure out with my feet how to go back without hitting the wall.
I love racing at the top of the racetrack. It's a gut check every lap. To look deep into the corner and floor it, sailing the car right up against the letters on the wall.
Trying to slow down so I didn't hit the wall.
Dirt car racers have thrived on the speed gains inches from the wall. Stewart.
Look at Stewart drive that car in. Wow.
Edwards.
Carl Edwards has checked out.
Reddick. Larson.
Got an 8.1 second lead.
Have all shaved the wall en route to victory here.
Miami, baby.
The opportunity to go topside
Coming outside.
is always there.
Down to the outside. Here comes Logano.
The risk and reward comparison will be heavy.
We're in the wall hard here.
It's all throttle control.
Here's how you start the playoffs, boys. It's Bristol, baby, come on!
How cool is it that I got the battle with the boss man, Dale Jr.?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to lead the lap, and the crowd goes wild.
We had a shot at winning it if the car was going to run good at the end.
I'm on fire, boys. There's smoke in the right side of the car.
I had a blast. Justin wins. It makes me want to do more, so have some fun Homestead riding the fence.
It's Bristol, baby, let's go!
Not that many races ago, Dale Jr. was out front leading the pack at Bristol before he had an electrical issue that caused a fire there right next to his right foot. It worked out well for a charity event that he was at. He auctioned that fire suit off, and Marcus Smith actually was the one who purchased it. Got the helmet as well, and he said, well, I'd like the whole suit. Can I get the shoes as well? And Junior said, well, you can have them after Homestead because I still need those for this race. So he'll get the whole suit once this race is completed. But Dale Jr., the first one out onto the track for qualifying here. 41 cars, 38 spots. We heard Junior was going to click off a high lap.
Yeah, highly important to get down into 3, get back to the gas, have your speed up by the time you get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, right to the bottom in 1 and 2 like you talked about. Back to the throttle. Got tight right there. Back to the throttle pretty quick.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Still having to mess with the throttle some. And now he said, he's committed to running the top. Let's see. He came to the green up here. That's what he's doing. Kind of straddled that seam. Now he's above it. I want to try to stay above it all the way off the corner.
This will be the mark that everyone will be shooting for, 33.84 for Junior. And in practice, he was a 33.59. So that bobble out of turn 2, I think, has made him nervous.
Yeah, I think there was, with the shade, now the track's completely shaded. There's no sun on the track at all. I think that they were expecting to be able to run quicker than that. We'll see where that ends up.
Here's Natalie Decker. Natalie in practice ran a 36.25. It was the slowest of the 41. See if she can pick up on this lap. Natalie, the best finish ever by a woman in trucks, and that came in 2020, a 5th place finish at Daytona.
This is her second start this season.
Big pickup though for Natalie, 35.62. Again, she was over the 36 seconds on her practice lap, her fastest practice lap.
I'm sorry, that was a third. This is her third start.
JJ Yaley now on the clock.
Finished top 12 in two of his last 3 Miami starts. Only 2/10 off of Junior getting into turn 3. He went to the bottom of the racetrack. This is what Junior was talking about. If you don't do everything just right on the exit, it could really hurt your lap badly.
Yeah, you can see how that car was just sliding up the racetrack. I mean, you've got the wheel turn, hoping you'll find some grip somewhere, but it cost him a lot of time on the exit.
This is Matt Mills in the 53. 26-year-old out of Lynchburg, Virginia. If he makes the field, it'll be his 5th start this season.
Right on the white line. Pretty nice 1 and 2. Losing a little bit of speed on corner exit. Let's see what direction he goes, top or bottom. He's going to the top.
Gaining a little bit now.
See the car bouncing around. This track is, nobody's car is going to look great. It's a bumpy racetrack. It's low grip. Even the best car here, the driver's going to get out. He might say it was really good, but that's only in comparison to the competition. Nobody's drives very good here.
Comes Kyle Sieg of the Sieg brothers. Ryan Sieg, the older of the 2 brothers. Kyle, behind the wheel of the 38, has run fairly consistent this season. Just missed a couple races in the middle of the season.
Good 1 and 2 right there.
It's a good lap for Kyle.
He goes to the bottom. See how this works out for him. Gained a lot getting through the center of the corner. Can he keep it up on the exit, though? Starting to go the wrong way.
Ran a 34.43 on his practice lap. Quite a bit better there with a 33.97 for Kyle Sieg. Let's see if the driver of the 88's nervous about making this show. He's with Kim.
I don't know. He said he felt pretty good about the lap. You used the line you told us you were going to use. Put on your analyst hat, though. What would you say as an analyst about the lap you just made?
A lot of mistakes. Ugly. Car's pretty good. I'm just, every lap I make a bundle of mistakes that I'll clean up in the race or try to clean up in the race. But happy with that lap. I think we're going to race tomorrow. That's all that matters. And we'll see where we end up. That's top 20, I hope. Yep.
Whoa!
Hang on to it.
That was a great save.
He was still hanging on to it.
Yeah, Patrick Emerling, you could see how free he got. Late entry toward the middle of turn 3. That thing was sideways. He did a wonderful job of not overcorrecting, not spinning the thing out. Got in a little too deep, obviously. Got himself in trouble. Probably going back to the throttle. There, look how around that car is. Just great job.
Kept it off the fence, too.
Yes.
Yeah, Kyle Larson couldn't even keep it off the fence last week, could he?
No. He had to use the fence to straighten it out. Dawson Cram here behind the wheel of the 74. Dawson, such an impressive run we saw out of him last week. Dawson's practice lap, a 34.34. If he could back that up here, that would be big, and he goes a little bit faster. 34.29 for Dawson.
Yeah, first Xfinity start here. What an exciting time that is in your career, DJ, when you're able to come to a racetrack like this and you watch races and you run a truck race. Now you're going to come run an Xfinity race. It is so much fun.
Yeah.
Here's Ryan Newman behind the wheel of the 66. Ryan likes to get out and race, and if there's a modified race, he wants to be in it. Able to get behind the wheel here in the Xfinity Series.
It's a good lap right here. Look at this. That is a great job by Ryan Newman. The guy can still drive, runs modifieds like you talked about, and still has a passion for racing.
1/10 of a second off what we've seen out of Dale Earnhardt Jr. So it's Earnhardt Jr. and Newman, 1 and 2.
Probably said that a few times back in the days, right?
Yes. Yeah, Earnhardt Jr. and Newman.
Although Newman would generally win most battles on qualifying day. Against everybody, not just Dale Jr.
Whoa. That's a crazy looking lap.
Mason Maggio here. In the 29, comes across the line. and Maggio goes up to 4th quickest.
Blitz polish. I've used a lot of that stuff, polishing crush panels.
Steve Addington,
Xfinity car, man. I want to make that thing look good. Had it look like chrome.
Steve Addington, the crew chief on that 29 for Maggio, and just making his 4th start. It'll be his first on a 1.5 mile track.
Well, he picked a really good one to come to.
Yeah, here's Jeffrey Earnhardt, nephew to Uncle Dale Jr., who right now is the fastest here at the track.
A nice 3 and 4. Really was. That was a really nice corner down here. Just wasn't able to carry the speed through 1 and 2 like he wanted, but 3 and 4 was solid.
34-35 for Jeffrey Earnhardt. Here's Mason Massey behind the wheel of the 08. Mason, another one of those drivers who struggled just a bit in practice. A 35.76 was the fastest lap he could muster.
Going to try that bottom end of the corner. Just see how much as you get back to the throttle, you just have to use up all of the racetrack. And you think you're doing something there, and you're just kind of hanging on and using up a lot of track.
Qualifying underway, and already 11 drivers have taken time. The 11th fastest is Emmerling because he was going sideways for most of his lap. So much to do here this weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway. Tomorrow it starts off on the NBC Sports app with practice and qualifying for the Cup Series. That's at 9 o'clock. Then countdown to green on USA in the Xfinity Series race, the second race of the round of 8 for the Xfinity Series drivers. And Sunday at 2 o'clock on NBC, it all gets started. Another opportunity. Who will join Kyle Larson as far as making it to the championship 4? He has already locked his spot up with his win at Las Vegas, and he is going to be great at this racetrack as well, as we see Leland Honeyman on the track and on the clock now.
Yeah, Leland, 2021 Carolina Pro Late Model Series Rookie of the Year. Started racing go-karts, 8 years old. ARCA races, truck races, Xfinity, Cars Tour races. Trying to work himself up the ladder. Good lap right here.
Yeah, really good lap.
4th fastest for Honeyman. And let's hear from Sheldon Creed. He's with Kim.
And Sheldon, we know this is a high commitment racetrack during the race. During qualifying, though, what's the level of commitment to find speed here?
Quite a bit. I feel like just you kind of try to have a plan and have an idea where you want to land, and wherever you land, you just kind of throttle up. I don't think you want to be too stuck to, wrapping the bottom or anything. Just wherever you land, try to go, and hopefully the car sticks. So that's gonna be my goal there. I wasn't super happy with our short run, but I think our long run was a little better. Just a few things to tune on for tomorrow, and get it a little better up against the wall. Bottom of 1 and 2 is surprisingly good, but yeah, just need to work on it a little bit to be better on the short run, and I feel like the long run will come to us. So I'm proud of everyone, and hopefully we can have a good lap here.
Sheldon Creed, one of our playoff drivers, comes into this weekend minus 41 to the elimination line.
Kyle Weatherman just posted a big lap, 33.58. That's 0.7 of a second faster than what we saw out of him in practice. It bumps Earnhardt Jr. down to 2nd. He is locked into the race now, though.
Good lap by Kyle Weatherman. He also started racing at 8 years old. We see a lot of that now. A lot of these guys, started racing as kids, and now having an opportunity to do it in full-size stock cars, big racetracks. Fun to watch it.
Blaine Perkins, growing up, had to idolize another guy who's out of Bakersfield, California, that being Kevin Harvick, who this race on Sunday is actually named after. It's the Mobil 1 Forever 400 for Kevin Harvick on his final year of racing. Weatherman started career best 8th here last year, and now fastest as we see Josh Williams on the clock.
Also a pretty good lap for Josh Williams. I like that line in 3 and 4. Kind of got above that seam, that last seam. Stayed there the whole time.
Yeah, you can see he lost all his time, 1 and 2, and the exit of 2 hurt him down the back straightaway, but he stayed pretty steady after that.
There's Anthony Alfredo in the 78. He's on the clock now.
BJ McLeod Motorsports. Pat Trison, crew chief, longtime Cup crew chief. Had a lot of success. Pat does a really nice job of understanding, you know, for these smaller teams, it's all about budget, right? How do you put the best race car on the racetrack for the right amount of budget? He does a wonderful job putting really good equipment in there, making smart decisions.
Across the stripe for Anthony Alfredo, and he'll be 8th fastest in that 78. Kim?
And for playoff driver Sammy Smith, your very first start at Homestead Miami Speedway. So how do you prepare knowing how key this race is going to be playoff-wise?
Yeah, just a lot of sim time and study notes, SMT, just everything I can. Talk to a lot of good people that have been around here. I feel like we fired off pretty good with a good race car, and I think we just need to make a couple adjustments for the race tomorrow, but I think the biggest thing is here is just go get a good qualifying effort and start up front.
Although Sammy has not raced Miami, the good news is if we look at next week, Martinsville, he finished runner-up there earlier this season and won earlier this season at Phoenix.
His best finish on a 1.5 miles. This is Sammy Smith's 3rd at Texas earlier this year. So he's going to learn. He's going to learn quickly as we see Brennan Poole in the 6th. He finishes his lap up and he's 7th fastest. Kaz Grala now on the clock. Grala starts off in the greens, going to lose a little bit as he goes into 1 here.
Yeah, he got through 3 and 4 into the start-finish line really, really well, but still right there at it.
Gaining a little bit down the backstretch.
All right, what's he going to do? Yep, up top. Crosses that seam, back over top of it. Now throttle, throttle. Just try to go back to the throttle and stay in it.
Yeah, you could see him wiggle right there just a little bit, but here he comes back.
Good job.
Kaz Grala, 2nd fastest with that lap. He's the fastest Toyota right now. Kim, I believe you've got the driver of the number 1.
That's correct, Sam Mayer. And Sam told me earlier today during practice not to worry about where you guys were on the speed chart. You were looking for drivability, how the car felt, but speed matters in qualifying. So what do you feel like you have in this Chevrolet?
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. We weren't that aggressive with being close up against the wall in our Accelerator Camaro. It's just trying to keep it in one piece before we get to qualify because that's the most important part of the weekend. So if we can get a good qualifying run here, I think our balance will be all right. We just got to start the race clean and hopefully stay out front and be there.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sam Mayer, when I met with him earlier today, he could not wipe the smile off his face.
And you see a tire rub there on the 43. Is that tire rub, Jeff?
Yeah, he had a big slide.
I couldn't understand what he said there. Obviously an issue.
We saw smoke coming out of the right front.
Oh, that's something
fluid
coming out of there. That's
fluid.
some sort of fluid. Yeah, now if I'm the next car going, I would like to know that. I would like NASCAR to put the caution out, to go out and look at the racetrack.
You could only hope that was just water maybe coming out.
Yeah, water dries very quickly, much quicker than you would think. If it's oil,
we're getting ready to find out.
I was going to say, we're going to know real soon. So CJ McLaughlin, he's riding the wall right up against the fence here. But 2.5 seconds off of the pace that we saw out of Weatherman. They're going to stop the next car from going. It would have been Jeremy Clements in the 51.
A tough situation right there because, you know, what happens in qualifying today is that essentially there's 2 cars on the track at the same time. Like in the entrance of making it happen as quickly as possible. You know, one car goes and he gets a certain amount of weight around the racetrack, and they send another one. So when something happens on the track, it really affects the other car. And again, this is the second time we've seen a major slide. Ryan Ellis did a great job of saving that race car. Now they've got to figure out what the problem is. It looks like it's running.
Yeah. So an issue with Ryan Ellis in the 43. We're taking a quick little break here. They'll check the track, and we'll keep going with qualifying when we return. So much to do in Miami. The nightlife, the beaches, the water. Miami, one of the most famous cities around the world. And it's got that reputation from so much to do and enjoy when you're here in the area. As we're getting ready to continue with qualifying for the Xfinity Series. If that looks a little weird, that's a 51. But thankfully, Dale Jarrett said that's a throwback to Kyle Petty's paint scheme. And I think what they did is they turned the 2 upside down. And sure enough, it was like, well, that makes sense. That's what it is. But it's the 51 of Jeremy Clements, but a throwback paint scheme to Kyle Petty's old number 21 with the Wood Brothers.
Yeah, that's cool. And a big week for Jeremy Clements this week. They announced that every race for next year is sold on this race car. Completely sold out on sponsorship. That's great news for this small team. They do a great job. And I'd like to say thank you to all the sponsors for joining him. They do a really nice job, and it's cool to see a team like this get fully sponsored.
Yeah, you just think all the hard work and effort by this family and everybody involved there. Wow, man, he had a good lap going, but he's losing a lot.
Yeah, center of 3 and 4 and off. Lost a little over 0.2 of a second, drops him down to 3rd fastest. So Jeremy Clements with a good lap for about 75% of it. And what a wild ride we saw out of Ryan Ellis, and Kim standing by with him.
That's right, Rick. Ryan Ellis with an issue during qualifying. What happened, and then does your team offer any more clarity to what the issue could be?
We're kind of figuring it out as we speak. They said there might be some oil on the Classic Living Chevy right now, so just checking it out. But it was a lot more exciting of a qualifying lap than I was really going for. You know, kind of just trying to drive it in there easy. I tried top both ends, and didn't quite work into 3, obviously.
Yeah, it was turn 3 where we saw the fluid coming out and was completely sideways. For Ryan Ellis is Derek Kraus now on track.
Yeah, you definitely don't need any help getting sideways here.
Good lap for Kraus.
Really good.
2 truck starts here in Miami. Finished 8th in Kansas this year. His only Xfinity start on a 1.5-mile racetrack.
There's Brett Moffitt behind the wheel of the 25.
Yeah, he was fast in practice. Let's see if he can back that up or pick up a little bit.
Back in the gas hard. You heard him when he jumped in the throttle. He wasn't messing with it. He just jumped wide open in the throttle.
Yeah, that's showing up on the clock right there, Jeff.
Now run the top, Brett. Yep, there he is. And he went above the seam. He never, ever got below the seam. I like that.
Yeah.
I like if you're going to enter top, enter top. And this is a big lap.
Does he get below 33 seconds? 33.02 for Brett Moffitt.
Nice work. He wanted a 33.02.
And obviously a very fast lap. A great job by Moffitt. And I think that's the pathway. All the drivers watching that, you know, it's no need to be below that seam at any point in turn 3. Enter above it, stay above it.
Connor Mozak here behind the wheel of 24. Two-tenths of a second off of what we saw out of Moffitt, but second right now is Weatherman, and he's 0.5 of a second off of Moffitt. So we'll see if Mozak can contest for maybe even that 2nd or 3rd spot.
I'm interested to see what Connor does next year, trying to work himself up into running one of the top 3 series trucks, Cup, Xfinity.
'27 of Jeb Burton now on the clock.
Jeb bought my dinner last night, so I got to say nice things. He normally doesn't buy.
I think you always have to say nice things about your nephew, don't you?
Not if he doesn't buy dinner.
The Alsco 27. That Chevrolet looking pretty good now. A little lower line there, and he lost it up.
Jim entered high and then turned down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah. So as you go to the gas there, you got the front tires turned some. You're powering up, and it just makes it so difficult. The back end just steps out like that.
Man.
Yeah, just car's really loose.
Jeff, so I'll ask you the question here. So we talk about the high line, how these guys are going to run that in the race. They're so fast there. Why not during qualifying?
Yeah, 1 and 2, I think there's enough grip, right? I just think there's enough grip on new tires, and on the restarts, we'll see it run all over the place. But old tires, it just is so much faster on old tires. But new tires in 1 and 2, you can run everywhere. But down here in 3 and 4, I just don't see any evidence, except for this lap, but I just don't see any evidence that running anywhere but the top is the best. It just, you don't have to turn the wheel as much. You can go to the throttle so much quicker. And, you know, in driving the racetrack, it's a very odd exit to turn 4. It really is odd. Like, you're in the throttle, and it's just so unusual. I just think running a constant radius around the top is going to be better. Kim.
And Chandler Smith sitting here watching everyone take their qualifying lap. Have you made a decision what you're going to do when you go green?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do, but just looking at previous history of kind of what got the pole last year, the line they ran, and their approach to everything, studied that going into this weekend, and said I was going to commit to it. So.
Alrighty, there you have it. We're going to let Chandler hop aboard his car to make his qualifying lap. Again, just welcomed his second baby boy yesterday morning, Noble Jack.
Close to the vest there, Kim. He didn't want to give up any of his trade secrets. The line he's going to run, as we see Parker Retzlaff, he finishes up his lap, and it's third fastest, and right behind him another Parker. Parker Kligerman now coming to the green.
Yeah, and also back to the point of running the Highland right around the wall. Part of that comes in that when you're on older tires, you don't charge the corner as hard. Trying to do that, and as far as you need to drive it in a qualifying lap to get maximum speed, you're taking a real chance of the car not gripping there, even though you have better tires at that time. So that makes it hard to do in a qualifying lap the entire way around.
You see right there, that to me is the line. That's what you want to do. He got the left side tires right at that upper seam, never lost it, and he equaled Moffitt in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
He was a little bit off in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, that's the speed. Unless there's a lot of speed left in some of these cars, and some really fast cars are coming, I think the pathway to success has been shown. It's running the top in 3 and 4. We'll see. I mean, we got the best cars coming. They may have a different idea.
13 still to go in qualifying. Right now, Earnhardt Jr. is 10th. He said he was hoping to be in the top 20 as far as the starting position. That might not happen.
And Joe Graff, big effort right there. Probably a little bit too much throttle too soon. Got up the racetrack off of turn 2. Rather have a driver trying too hard, though.
Yeah, still going to be a decent lap here.
Yep. Good job.
Joe Graff Jr. from New Jersey. He's got Wawa on the hood and the side. Very popular in the Northeast. Here's the Menards, number 9, Brandon Jones. And he starts off in the green and gaining on Moffitt. Then he lost a little through the center of the turn.
And Moffitt was able to have his car turning, and he went to the throttle, and it was able to stay lower off of turn 2. These guys, when they go to the throttle, it loses it, and it gets up the racetrack. Jones to the very bottom of the racetrack, and now it's sliding up. I know that was, you know, going into this qualifying, I understand how you could make a case that's the way you wanted to run here in the past, but so far there's no evidence that's the way to do it today.
Brandon Jones has been runner-up in this race 2 of the last 3 races here. Here comes Josh Berry with the Tire Pros number 8.
See right there?
Yeah.
In the throttle, but up the racetrack. Now, can he maintain it down the back straightaway? And what's Josh going to do? There you go. He crossed that seam just a little bit, DJ.
Just a little bit, and that probably cost him just a little bit of time. He's still okay right here, but losing what he had built up.
Josh Berry second fastest at a 33.03, so 100th of a second slower than what we saw out of Moffitt. There's John Hunter Nemechek. He's waiting his turn. He's last to go today. Jump into the intense and exciting world of first responders, police, firefighters, and dispatchers as they face heart-stopping situations and save the day. 911 Marathon is next on USA. Riley Herbst, most recent winner in the Xfinity Series, will be next on the clock as he comes out of 4 to take the green flag.
Good speed into turn 1.
A little wiggle right there through. He came up out of that bottom seam.
See if he can gain the speed back down the backstretch. He gets back into the green. How low will he go, or will he stay above that seam? Right at it, Jeff.
Yeah, I like that. If he can stay in the throttle here. I tell you, got to give Brett Moffitt a ton of credit. He just put a lap time up there.
Riley goes second fastest, 33.037. Kim.
John Hunter Nemechek will be the last to qualify here. As we look at this track, though, the corners are so long, especially 1 and 2. How does that affect your decision on what line you run?
I don't know. I haven't qualified in a couple weeks, so it's all new to me. Just going to ship it and see what we got. Pipe Barker Toyota GR Supra was as fast as Xfinity 10G in practice. I feel like there's 2 or 3 cars that are really, really good. Short and long run speed. So looking forward to seeing what we got here in qualifying. Just glad to qualify this week and then go into the race tomorrow and see what we can do.
John Hunter mentioned he's glad to qualify this week. The last 2 weeks has missed out on qualifying due to issues with his car in practice.
Sub 33, I think we're seeing it right here. No, Sheldon Creed, 33.06. That one was close, but just couldn't complete that lap.
It looked like he really kept it out getting into turn 3, like Jeff Burton's been saying you need to do, but it looked like it got a little bit loose right there. It might have cost him a little time.
Here to the bottom of the racetrack, and the green's bouncing around a little bit.
Sammy too. Yeah, he went back to the throttle quickly, up the racetrack, off of 2. Now that top lane, see if he can build the speed. Here it comes.
Yeah. He got back to the gas hard if he can stay in it.
There it is. Sammy Smith, the fastest, at a 30.02 to Moffitt's 30.028.
Now I wonder, all the Cup teams are watching, Cup drivers are watching this qualifying, if they're setting their goal for tomorrow. Bottom in 1 and 2, top in 3 and 4. Hemrick had a little bit of issue right there. It seemed like he could not go back to the throttle the way everybody else has been able to. Building some speed back down the back straightaway, though.
Yeah, may have actually played into his favor. Well,
oh, to the bottom.
He should have had a hook up to you, Jeff Burton, and he could have helped him get a better starting spot.
I mean, he got really committed to the bottom over there.
He was low in 3. Going to be about 0.4 of a second off, though, and 9th fastest for Hemrick. Here's Sam Mayer. Heard from Sam as he was chatting with Kim just moments ago.
Sam has had some impressive qualifying laps this year. I remember Charlotte in May. He put a lap out there, and it scared me. I'm like, there's no way he's coming back around, and had a great lap. He is not afraid to try something different.
He's right there at it. See what he chooses here. Went a little too far down there. Gained him some time, but going to lose it all, Rick.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to pay off, and then, as you mentioned, going the wrong way for Sam Mayer. So Mayer is 8th fastest on his lap now. Playoff drivers from here on out: Austin Hill, Allgaier, Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, and John Hunter Nemechek.
This race is an Austin Hill kind of race. He will grind all day long, never quits, just keeps bringing the fight to you. He is gonna be a difficult guy to knock out of these playoffs. He's just a fighter. Really good 1 and 2.
Carrying a 1/10 of a second advantage into 3. Let's see what he does here.
Yeah, we're seeing some speed out of RCR that we haven't really seen. A little loose right there. Staying in it, though.
Should start building back now. Should have a good front straight speed.
See how he ends up. He's fastest, 32.94.
Hell yeah. I love you. Great job, dude. 32.94.
What a lap for Austin Hill. Now it's Allgaier, Chandler Smith, Cole Custer, and John Hunter Nemechek. Custer and Nemechek, they were the fastest 2 in practice earlier. Let's find out if they can back it up. But Allgaier is first.
You see he rolled out of it a little bit sooner, but now is he going to be able to make it up on the exit here?
Yeah, and he stayed all the way on the bottom. His car didn't shoot up the racetrack. A little bit of discipline there, made some speed. Now it's inner high. Do not turn too early. It's so tempting to turn the car, but just letting it stay up the racetrack. Allgaier, a great job right there. That's the line.
And new leader, 32.88.
Yeah, buddy. P1.
That's got to be a confidence boost for a guy coming into a racetrack that he has not had much success, if it, at all. To qualify that well, it's a great start.
Okay, now we get to know the secret here. Chandler wasn't going to tell us a while ago, so let's see what he said. He's going to had a plan. He was sticking to it.
Drifts up the track out of 2. He's 0.2 of a second off of what we just saw out of Allgaier.
Yeah, a lot of that was carried a lot of speed down into the center, but you see the car go up the racetrack down there and cost him quite a bit of time.
He runs the high line through 3 and 4. Gains a little bit back.
It's just safer. It's just safer to run the top, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anybody have a horrible 3 and 4 running the top.
Here's Cole Custer. He was fastest in practice. He ran a 32.96. We'll see if he can back it up and maybe even improve upon it here.
Oh, back to the throttle hard right there. Good corner.
1/10 of a second.
He gets down below the seam there, Jeff.
Yeah, he did. Turned. But the car turned well, and he was able to go back to the throttle.
Wow, carried a lot of speed.
Big lap for Cole Custer. 32.60. 0.2 of a second faster than Allgaier, and only 1 to beat, as John Hunter Nemechek will be next on the clock. John Hunter jokingly said, I haven't qualified for a couple weeks. Well, he's going to have to put together a great lap here.
Not getting to the throttle very good there.
He too goes down a little bit below the seam. Back into the gas, but it's going the wrong way. Over 1/10 of a second. Looks like this one's going to be Cole Custer's. John Hunter Nemechek, second fastest. Cole Custer is going to win the pole. It's his 18th career pole. Cole Custer, what a lap he put together.
Yeah, impressive.
Almost 0.2 of a second faster than what Nemechek, who's going to start second, posted.
I realize that 0.2 of a second might not sound like a lot, when you look, but to do that against the field and do it here, incredible lap.
Got his first Xfinity win here. Ton of confidence for this guy. He wants to race right now. Let's drive to green.
Loves this racetrack. Got his first Xfinity Series win here, and now another pole. Kim.
His 6th pole of the season, leads the NASCAR Xfinity Series 4 poles. Did you get the sense of speed out there that you're showing on the board?
Yeah, I mean, car was super fast during practice. I mean, JT and all the guys, they nailed it. You know, I think we can keep working on it a little bit, but overall, I mean, we got a really fast Haas Automation Ford Mustang. So just a testament to all the guys at the shop, but JT, everybody on the team at SHR has done an awesome job, and can't thank everybody at Ford Performance enough. Roush Yates Engines, Doug Yates. I mean, we're bringing our best stuff right now, and it's really impressive the speed we got. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow and see if we can keep moving in the right direction here and get us into where we need to be.
You'll have the best seat in the house to start the race. What are you going to have to do to keep that track position throughout tomorrow's race?
Well, it's going to come down to long run speed. You know, it always does here. And I felt like our long run speed was good in practice, but could be a tick better. So, you know, I really want to be able to run the wall good here. And I think if you can do that, you're really going to cushion yourself on the long run. But I think we can get it.
Stuart Haas Racing really showing us recently in the last 2 weeks what they have on these mile-and-a-halves.
So Cole Custer is going to start up front. Again, 41 attempted to qualify for the 38 spots. Here are those 38 starting positions. Again, Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek, the playoff drivers you see with the purple lines underneath, and playoffs in the lower right corner on their name. So the first 5 positions held by playoff drivers.
Some more playoff drivers: Sheldon Creed, Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer. No playoff driver had a terrible day. None of them have a ton of work to do just to gain back track position, all in still with an opportunity to win this race.
And even though these drivers are starting back a little bit, you know, we thought Kyle Weatherman's lap was going to be something that might be really, really close to the front. Junior back there said he thought it would stay in the top 20. Didn't quite do that, but he'll make his way forward tomorrow.
Back here, rows 13 through 16. And the drivers that did not qualify: J.J. Yaley, Mills, and Natalie Decker. Driver starting in the 3rd position behind the wheel of the 7 is Justin Allgaiers with Kim.
And Rick, when I talked to Justin earlier this afternoon, I said, what are you going to do in qualifying? You said, not what I did last year. Well, you ended up with your best Miami start. A little bit redemption here this afternoon?
I don't know if it's redemption, but I just got to say a huge tip of the hat to all the guys on the 7 team. You know, our Hello Water Camaro was okay in practice, but we were fighting a few things. You know, some say it's probably a little bit crazy. You know, Junior Motorsports has brought some really, really fast Camaros here to Homestead Miami Speedway, and we went in a different route. I didn't like the package that we've kind of come with in the last couple of years, and we've gone a different route this time to see if we can do something a little bit better. And Jim Pullman and all the guys on the 7 team made all the right decisions. I gave up more than I would have liked to admit, just to not do what I did last year. But you know, just again, proud of the team, proud of the effort. The goal is always to be as fast as Xfinity 10G. Cole did that today. We did not. But starting 3rd is a great starting spot for us. But it also gives us a great pit stall selection next week for Martinsville, which, you know, is going to be ultra tough as well. So we got our work cut out for us tomorrow. But I think with the adjustments that we made for qualifying, we'll be in great shape.
I know part of the goal for practice today was to find drivability in all the lanes. Do you feel like you found that?
Yeah, I mean, we searched around a lot, and I feel like we stuck to a plan, and it worked, and we learned a lot about our race car today. Probably more so myself. I learned a lot about myself and what I need to do to give good feedback tomorrow. And, you know, it doesn't matter if this is your first time here or your 27th time here. You know, you're always learning at this place, and you're always trying to learn how to give more valuable feedback. And that's just what the plan is right now. So blessed to have a great team around me like I do, and they're working as hard as they can possibly work to make sure that I have all the tools that I need, and that's all I can ask for.
Justin looking for his first top 5 finish at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Let's take a look at how the playoff drivers will start this race, Jeff. And from 13th all the way up to pole, that's the way these 8 drivers will start this, the 2nd race of the round of 8.
Yeah, well, the top 4 drivers, in my eyes, have been the fastest all year long, and they're starting the best on tomorrow. So the other guys have a little bit of work to do, but no one's got themselves in a position where they're in too bad a shape.
Yeah, they don't that, but they've got a tough race ahead of them tomorrow. You know, getting 1 lap, and they all show that they have some speed to their cars, but managing that speed and not making any mistakes as you have to go up against the wall.
Rest of the weekend looks like this. Tomorrow morning, we'll kick it off with Cup practice and qualifying on the NBC Sports app, and that's at 9 o'clock. And then countdown to green and Xfinity Series racing, 2:30 that gets underway. 2 o'clock on NBC. It's the Cup Series turn to take on this 1.5-mile racetrack running right up against the wall. Again, Dale Jr. in the field for the Xfinity Series race. He sent us a message while we were watching the end of practice. He said, I do not know how these kids do it with so little practice. He said, 15 minutes of practice and you go out there and you try to run the fastest lap you can. He doesn't understand how you do it.
Yeah, well, that starts tomorrow. The Cup practice and qualifying. A very tight point race over there. Qualifying is going to matter. I know Cole Custer said several times, long run speed is the key to win the Xfinity race. However, 3 of the last 4 races here have ended in a very late race restart. You've got to be able to take off fast also.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race and could really shake things up as to, who's going to go out there and grab this win and know that they're going to go race for a championship in Phoenix in just a couple of weeks now.
We know that this is another step to getting closer to Phoenix and that championship 4. A win here by any of the playoff drivers in the Xfinity Series or the Cup Series, and that locks them in to that championship 4 in Phoenix. Again, next week it's going to be Martinsville, but this is another opportunity for the playoff drivers to lock themselves in and have a shot at the title. We saw Dale Jr. go out. He will start 23rd in the race tomorrow. Then he'll be up in the broadcast booth as the Cup Series will take on the track on Sunday. And we'll see who can join Kyle Larson, potentially Tyler Reddick, another one of those fast drivers that runs right along the wall. Today, the fastest was Cole Custer. He wins the pole for the Xfinity Series. Join us tomorrow for that race.